For those of you who want to stay longer in Indonesia, I have a visa update for you, and this is the topic of today's video. And some of you might know this already. I was not aware of this, and I remember I was debating a little bit back and forth with one of my viewers a few months ago. As you might know, a few months ago I released a video, a step-by-step guide on how to apply for the e-visa on arrival for Indonesia. And this video is still okay, but at the time when I released that video, I thought that this is the only option, the only way to get into Indonesia with a tourist visa. And I thought that the only way to stay longer or long term is either you retire in Indonesia with a retirement visa or you obtain a work permit. I was not aware that there are several other very nice visa options actually. And this is what I want to share with you here today. And this is actually good news. Apparently last year the Indonesian immigration changed a few things, it changed a few visas, amended some things, but it is not really being promoted. You don't hear anything about it. I have not heard anything about it. I did not read anything about it. No YouTube videos, no nothing, no promotion by the Indonesian government. So I had to do my own research because I was interested what this viewer had to say. And he was right. There is this possibility of even entering Indonesia on a multiple entry visa as a tourist. Yeah, but let's go step by step. Just to recap quickly here, the visa on arrival, the regular visa on arrival, which you can apply for in two ways, is the e-visa on arrival, which you do online. I covered all this in my previous video. You wanna check it out right here. I will link it. Or you can also buy your visa on arrival upon arriving at an international airport in Indonesia. Yeah. Either way, this visa on arrival is valid only for 30 days. It's a single entry visa. And it costs roughly $30 US, depending on the daily exchange rate, right? And you can extend this visa one time, yeah, either online or you have to go to an immigration office. If you have purchased your first visa on arrival online, then you can extend it online. But if you bought your visa on arrival at an immigration counter at the airport, then you also have to visit an immigration office in Indonesia. You can then not extend your visa on arrival online. So long story short, with a regular visa on arrival, you can stay maximum 60 days in Indonesia. Also, the extension does cost money. It costs the same amount, $30 to $30 roughly. Okay, now here comes the news, at least for me. There is another visa category. It's called the D visa category. And in this categories are about 5 different visas. Yeah, the D visa section covers 5 different categories. But I will talk about the D1 visa category, which covers regular tourists who want to stay long-term in Indonesia. And that means long-term means in this case 1 year, 2 years or 5 years. The D1 visa, which the Indonesian immigration is offering, covers 1, 2 and 5 years. So it's up to you if you want to stay 1 year, 2 years or even 5 years. Either way, for all 3 visas, you can stay. Okay, so first things first. if you stay 1 year, obviously the visa is valid for 1 year and so on. You know, the 2-year visa is valid for 2 years and the 5-year visa is valid for 5 years. When you enter Indonesia for the first time, then you can stay for 60 days max. Then you have 2 options. So either you have the 1, the 2 or the 5 years visa, it doesn't matter. It's the D1 visa. So you enter Indonesia, you can stay 60 days max. Then you have 2 options. You can either exit Indonesia and then return back to Indonesia. And this D1 visa is a multiple entry visa. This is very important. Yeah. So you can either exit after 60 days and return, or you can stay inside of Indonesia and you can extend your stay for another 60 days. But you have to pay. And about the fee, I'm not quite sure. I will talk about this a little bit later, but it seems that you have to pay. There are some varying information online. I could not really get a foolproof information here, but it looks like that you also have to pay for your extension, similar like for the visa on arrival. So again, you enter Indonesia for the first time, you can stay 60 days. If you don't want to leave and if you don't want to exit Indonesia, which you can, then you can extend your D1, not the visa, but you can extend your stay for another 60 days. And you might have to pay. And then once these 60 days are finished, you can extend for another 60 days. So you can enter Indonesia and then you can extend your stay for 2 times. So altogether your stay can come up to 180 days. That's half a year. But after 2 extensions, you have to leave in any case, at any rate. You have to exit Indonesia. But it's not a problem because once you return, you can, without any issues, without any problems, of course, enter Indonesia again with your multiple entry, entry D1 visa, and you don't have to pay extra money or what, because you paid for the visa already. I will let you know how much the cost is. So that's the deal with this visa. It doesn't matter the validity is 1, 2 or 5 years. The same rule apply. Now the 1-year visa, which is the D1 visa, which is valid for 1 year, does cost $193 US. Of course, depending on the exchange rate, the cost now is 3 million Indonesian rupiah for this visa. It's valid for 1 year. The visa which is valid for 2 years does cost roughly $387 US. So I took the exchange rate from today. Or in Indonesian rupiah, you would pay about 6 million Indonesian rupiah. This is the cost. And if you prefer to purchase a 5-year visa, then you would have to pay roughly $1,000 US. Today's exchange rate shows me 967 bucks US dollars. Or in Indonesian currency, it would be 15 million Indonesian rupiah. So you can do the math, you know, and depending on your preference, I think it's a good deal. It's something very convenient in my opinion, because I remember many years back there was no such a visa. Yeah, you only had a tourist visa. You could stay 30 days and then you had to exit, or maybe you could extend it for another 30 days. But with these D1 visa, you are not allowed to work. Yeah, this is a tourist visa, so you cannot work, you are not allowed to do business. There are other visa categories you might want to check out. I will also link the Indonesian immigration website, which is pretty straightforward, is very easy to navigate, and the good news is it works. Yeah, surprise, surprise. The this is something I was not so much used to deal with when with these kind of things from Indonesia. But this website is really, really effective, efficient. It works. It's easy to navigate, as I mentioned, and it's really, really foolproof, actually. And for this D1 visa, you have to apply from outside. You cannot just be inside Indonesia. You have to apply from outside. I mentioned the extension already. So again, there are varying information, but it looks to me, I compared several different sources, and it looks to me that you can, as I mentioned, you can extend the D1 visa 2 times at 60 days. And so you can stay for a maximum of 180 days, but then you have to exit the country. And it will cost a little bit of money. I know there are some visa agencies throughout Indonesia who offer the service of taking care of your visa application, and they handle all the documents and the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. And of course, since it's a service, they charge a little bit more money. And they charge 2.6 million rupiah for the extension. Yeah, for this 60-day extension. So this is I would say around maybe 160, 170 US dollar. But I found another site, an Indonesian government website, where it seems that the extension cost is only 1.5 million rupiah. So this would be roughly 100 US dollar, which is still expensive, I find, but don't take my word for it, because I could not really verify and confirm this amount. But I assume if you want to extend your visa because you don't want to leave Indonesia, then you have to pay. Yeah, the extension is chargeable, unlike when you exit, because you exit Indonesia, you have travel costs involved. You know, you need to fly out, and then you can return with your multiple entry visa anyway without any cost. So I think that's the deal. And the validity of the visa, this is a fixed thing. So let's say you purchase a 1-year D1 visa, starting, the validity would start at January 1 next year, 2025, valid through December 31st, 2025. So this is a fixed period of time. This cannot be changed, okay? But within this year, you can enter and exit as many times as you want. This is the good thing. But you can stay maximum for 60 days. Then you would have to extend what we discussed here, or you can exit and come back again. So during this period of time, you can enter and exit as many times as you want. Same goes for the 2-year visa and the 5-year visa. So same rules apply. So to conclude this video, I think it's a really, really good thing. I haven't tried it out for myself, but I will consider this in the future. Yeah, this is, in my opinion, a very, very convenient way. And yeah, it does cost some money, but bottom line, when you really do the math and calculate, if you really want to stay long term in Indonesia without doing any business or without having any job, any employment, then this is a really good deal, because at the end this is cheaper than just, you know, purchasing a $30 visa on arrival and then extending it for another $30, another 30 days. So you spend already $60 for 2 months, and then you have to exit anyway, and then the whole procedure starts again. So yeah, you have to really calculate and look and see what is better for you. If it is really benefiting you, but a guy like me who wants to stay longer, definitely this is a great alternative. This is a great option. Yeah, so that's it for today, basically. If you have any other questions, let me know. I will link the immigration site down in the description box. I mentioned this already. There are no other sites at the moment which I could recommend, but you can do your own research. There are plenty of visa agencies. They are, I think, mostly run by foreigners. Plenty of them you can find in Bali, because, you know, Bali is a place where many foreigners are heading for. So Bali is pretty well covered actually with visa agencies. And these people, I must say, they have experience with dealing with Indonesian visa issues. This is no problem, no big deal. These guys are really experienced, but it costs more money. But from my experience with dealing with the Indonesian immigration since beginning of this year, applying for my e-visa on arrival, I can tell you, it's really a walk in the park. It's so easy, so smooth, no hiccups, no nothing. The process lasts maybe 10 minutes max when you do it online. You pay, and once you paid, you immediately receive your visa on arrival. You don't have to wait 1, 2, or 3 or 5 business days like in other Southeast Asian countries, right? So this is a good thing. Let me know what you think, and then I'm gonna check out now, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.